George Cox for ActonTV. As you can see behind me, we have a brand new Ram 2500 ProMaster that we're going to be using in many of our ActonTV productions. Coming up on this edition of Talk of the Town, the Neshoba Valley Ski Area Report, the Superintendent's Update, and information about life-saving equipment from the Acton Police Department. Coming up next, the Winter Carnival from Nara Park with our special guest correspondent, Vivian Burchill.
This is Vivian, Talk of the Town. Today we are at the 2018 Winter Carnival at Nara Park. There's lots of activities, ice sledding. I see a bonfire right behind me. It's so cold. And of course, my camera person and I forgot to wear our gloves. Yeah, we're the silly ones today.
To enjoy the Winter Carnival that the town has for us, and we live very close by, so we've come to enjoy.
Is this your first Winter Carnival?
Yes.
Yeah, this is our first time, my first time coming to the Winter Festival. And we're here to help organize what's called Broom Ball, which you can see over here, which they play balls and try to score on the net. There's not many rules to it. It's just run around and have fun. And we're here with Acton Boxborough Youth Lacrosse, and we're organizing this just to help promote the sport.
It's pretty cold out here, but once you start running around, you can see kids warm up and they're having a lot of fun. So looking forward to a great day.
Wait, are you actually getting that? We're at the Winter Carnival 2018 at Nara Park with the Girl Scouts. They're going to tell us their names and tell us what they're doing here today.
My name is Emily. I'm Lila. And I'm Carson.
What are you doing today?
We're selling some Girl Scout cookies.
Have you done this before? Is it the first time?
No, we've done it before. We've been doing it since 2nd grade.
Cool. Where do you take the proceeds from the sales?
We usually use it on like field trips that we do in the troop.
Cool. We're so proud of you, just braving the cold and trying to sell Girl Scouts cookies. Go Girl Scouts! Woohoo! Woohoo!
Thank you.
Okay, being an immigrant from Uganda, East Africa, I have never seen this. This is roasted marshmallows, so it's my first experience with this. It's exciting getting to see all these new activities. And the smoke is getting in my eyes. Roasted marshmallows. Obviously, this is exciting for me. I can't wait to taste a roasted marshmallow for the first time. It's on fire! Patrick says ideally they don't catch on fire, but I'm an amateur at this, so I don't care. It's strange, but okay. What's your name?
Kristen.
What are you doing?
I'm making my marshmallow on fire.
Is it fun?
Yes.
Have you done this before?
Yes.
Cool. High five. Woohoo.
So we're here for the Winterfest. We've got a couple games for the kids to play. Ring the bell and a toss game over there. And also we're promoting our 125th anniversary that we have coming up this year. So we have a big event planned for the end of the year. So we're trying to raise funds so we'll be able to fund that.
That's turkey bowling. It's a charity thing. It's for $2 for 3 shots, and there's no real benefit. It's just like you get on the high scoreboard. We've had one person get 10 and another person get 7. So, and it's whatever money you donate is for Jones Field. It's a park. It's like gravel and just get floods. So we're trying to like renovate it. So yeah, it just goes to a charity thing.
I'm here with Melissa from Acton Recreation.
So we are doing a renovation to Jones Field in South Acton, and it's a playground and field. And we're adding a new playground, adding a basketball court, 2 pickleball courts, and 4 volleyball courts. So we're doing a fundraiser here, and we're going to be fundraising throughout the year. And we're hope to fundraise up to $50,000 in the fall. The skating's great today. We've tested the ice, and the ice is 6 to 8 inches all the way around the pond. So we have lots of skating. You can bring your own skates, or you can just come out onto the ice and walk around.
We're here representing the Acton Dog Park Committee for the town of Acton. We want to get a formalized dog park. We're just trying to get some community support at this point, but we've got a couple of raffles going, one for kids and dogs, one for adults and dogs, and we've got the snowball toss here in the snowman. And so far it's been really good, a good turnout. This is my buddy Eddie here. This is Eddie Shredder.
This is the party so far. Don't do that to me! I'm hooked. It's absolutely freezing, and we gotta get out of here. But there's so much fun and so much to do around the fire. So if you missed this year's carnival, join us next year. I hope you've enjoyed this segment of Talk of the Town, and we'll see you next time.
Here is some information about Narcan, a life-saving drug with the Acton Police Department. George for ActonTV. We are here at the Acton Police Department with John Collins and Doug Mahoney to talk about Narcan. Now, tell us about when you guys implemented using this.
It was first implemented in 2014. Deval Patrick's administration recognized the epidemic of the opioid overdose, so it was first introduced in 2014.
And you have it in every cruiser. Tell us about that.
Yes, we do. Every cruiser has the nasal Narcan. It's a 4 milligram nasal Narcan with the AED units in the trunk. And every officer in the department goes through training on how to use that Narcan as well.
And there's a lot of misconceptions about what Narcan is. They think maybe it's a shot that people get, like they think of that Pulp Fiction movie where they get the shot. Tell us how it's applied and how it stops an overdose.
Okay, like Detective Mahoney said, we apply it when we see the signs and symptoms of an opioid overdose. We would take the medication out. Like he said, it comes in a 4 milligram package. It's a 1 dose. And the current administration purposes, you stick it up one nostril, apply the medication, and then continue rendering first aid.
And what exactly in it makes it stop the opioids in somebody's system?
So essentially what the opiate overdose is the receptors in your brain are clogged with the opiates, and it's the receptors can't tell your body to breathe, basically. So when the Narcan is introduced into your nasal passage, it is introduced into the bloodstream, brought to the brain, and it basically cleans the receptors off of the opiates off of the receptors in the brain, tells your body to breathe again. It's a temporary fix for an opiate overdose. The victim still has to go to the hospital and receive medical care at the hospital, but it enables the body to breathe again, and you can continue rendering aid, CPR.
What type of scenarios when you get a call and someone ODs? I mean, there must be several that you had to go through. Can you tell us about any kind of scenarios where you had to use this on somebody here?
Sure, absolutely. Opiate abuse, whether that's injecting heroin snorting an opiate, something of that nature. It's also used in accidental overdoses. Maybe someone misreads their pain medication directions, and so we may administer it then. And then we can also use it on infants if they happen to get into some medication they're not supposed to, and even animals as well.
And what kind of drugs are on the street that are really dangerous? You have fentanyl, which is, a synthetic drug, which is 10 times more powerful than regular heroin. I mean, what type of drugs are you see down these days?
The drugs that are trending around here, like you said, heroin, we're seeing fentanyl. Carfentanil, as you know, it's been seen up in Lawrence area, but those drugs, they're crossing into our towns, they're into our borders, and unfortunately, the case is these individuals that are ingesting these drugs, they don't necessarily know exactly what they're ingesting. So that's why you're seeing so many overdoses in the administration of the Narcan in all the surrounding towns and cities around here.
And what's it like just knowing that you're saving somebody's life and maybe giving them a second chance in life?
Sure, it's rewarding. I mean, the reason we sign up for the job is to help others, and so it's very rewarding when you can give someone a second chance, and hopefully in the future they can kick the habit.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you guys for just helping, save lives in the community and just educating us about Narcan. So if there's any more information that people can get, do you have a web address or anything, or we can just put this up too?
So we actually, if people want to come to the PSF, we do have brochures about the nasal Narcan. And if people would like more information, they can come in and ask for myself or Detective Collins, and we'd be happy to explain it to them.
Excellent. And if you want more information, you can stop by here. They're located in the Public Safety Building, and there's some great information about how they can save lives. Thank you for watching. Here is an update with the interim superintendent for the Acton-Boxborough School District.
Hello, my name is Bill McAuliffe, and I'm the interim superintendent of schools for the Acton-Boxborough Regional School District. Thank you to ActonTV for giving me this opportunity today to provide an update on what's going on in our schools for the current school year. There are a number of initiatives that are ongoing for this school year. I'd like to just bring you up to date briefly on a few of them. The first update I'd like to let you know about was a decision that the school committee made late last fall around later school start times. Some of you may be aware that the district has been looking at the concept of starting high school later in the morning for the last 3 years. I'm happy to say that back in December, the school committee made a decision to adjust the high school start time as well as the junior high start time about 45 minutes later in the morning. So for next school year, parents should plan on their high schoolers starting school at 8:07, which is approximately 44 minutes later than this year. And the junior high students will start school at 8:00 a.m., and that's 30 minutes later than this year and previous years. Along with that change, another major change in school start times will happen at the elementary level. As you all know, elementary schools in Acton and Boxborough have been on alternating start times over the last many years. 3 of our schools are on what we call the early start time, which begins school at 8:20 and ends at 2:50, and the other 3 schools are on the later start time, which means school starts for those students at 9:00 in the morning and ends at 3:30 in the afternoon. Given the later start in the high school day, we had to adjust the elementary school start time, but we're able to do that with a concept that will allow all 6 of our elementary schools now to start and end the school day at the same time. So it'll be consistent across the board, and parents won't have to alternate every other year. For next September, parents at the elementary level will expect that their students will start school at 8:50 a.m. and school will be released at 3:20 p.m. There'll be more coming out on the logistics and details of our later school start times as we get further into the school year. Another update I'd like to provide for you is on the operating budget for next year, the fiscal year 2019 school operating budget. We're well into that process. Process started early last fall, as it does every year. And I'm happy to let you know that at this Thursday night school committee meeting, Thursday, February 15, the school committee will have its annual public hearing on the budget. On Thursday night, the final budget will be presented, and after a period of public comment, the school committee will have an opportunity to vote to approve the budget, which I expect they will do. It looks like next year's budget will come in at an approximately 3% increase. And one of the biggest factors in the budget for next year, other than the annual accounting for salaries and supplies and materials, is a one-time $775,000 cost for expanding our bus transportation operations to accommodate for the single-tier elementary school start times. So I just told you about the later school start times, and a big piece of that is moving to consistent start times across the elementary level. What that means is we'll need approximately 10 more school buses to make that happen, and that is captured in the proposed budget for next year. The good news there is that after year one, approximately half of that expenditure going forward will be reimbursed on an annual basis by the state through the state's regional transportation reimbursement aid that regional school districts receive every year. So we're in good shape, I believe, on the adoption of the fiscal year 19 budget. School committee will take its final vote, as I just said, Thursday night. And then it's on to the two annual town meetings. Acton's town meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 2nd, and Boxborough's annual town meeting is scheduled for Monday, May 14th. Hope to see you all there. I'd also like to provide you another update on the proposed new school building at the elementary level. As many of you know, special town meetings were held in December to approve the appropriation of $1.3 million for the district to enter into an agreement with the Massachusetts School Building Authority, the MSBA, to conduct a feasibility study. $1.3 million will cover that cost, and the MSBA will reimburse the district, or actually not reimburse the district, but will pay for a little more than 44% of the cost of that feasibility study, which means AB's share is $710,000, and that money has already been put aside in the surplus fund and will be used to pay AB's share. The process will formally begin this Wednesday, February 14th, when the Mass School Building Authority's Executive Board votes to approve the feasibility study for the Douglas Elementary School. For those of you who have been following that initiative over the past year and a half, you know that the district's current preferred option for a new elementary school is actually a twin school. And the twin school, the sites we'll look for to build a new twin school will be the Gates property, the current Gates School property, the Conan property, the Douglas property, and perhaps other properties in Acton that haven't been identified yet. There'll be a thorough study that will show the pros and cons for building a twin school in any of those sites, or at least the possibility of building a large school at those sites. And in approximately 12 to 14 months, the building committee will, in working with MSBA, will have developed a preferred option to move forward. So follow that news over the next 12 to 14 months. There'll be regular updates at school committee meetings as we move forward with the feasibility study, and you'll learn more about that as we go through the next year. And then the last update I'd like to provide you with is the search for a new permanent school superintendent. The school committee began this process back in October, and I'm happy to report that the process is beginning to really come forward in a way that the public will soon hear who the finalists for the position of the of superintendent of schools will be going forward. It's expected that the announcement of the finalists will be made this Thursday night, February 15th, at the upcoming school committee meeting. Also discussed at that school committee meeting, once the finalists are announced, will be the logistics and details of the next steps in the process. So what community members and parents and staff can expect is that however many finalists there are, and that's not a predetermined number, that will depend on the results of the interviews, all the finalists will be invited back to AB to spend a day meeting with all the stakeholder groups. So that's staff, parents, community members, administrators. I would imagine a group of high school students will be asked to meet with the finalists. And all of the finalists will, at some point during the schedule that's established, have a public interview before the school committee. The school committee will then decide whether to do visits to where the finalists currently work and to be able to gather more information about the finalist suitability to be Acton Boxborough's next superintendent. I would expect that that process will take the school committee up until mid-March, probably sometime around March 15th, where the school committee will meet and vote on who the next permanent school superintendent will be. And whoever that individual is, it is expected that they will start their new position here at AB effective July 1st. So as you can see, it's been a busy year so far. There's still a lot to do before we get to the end of June. I look forward to continuing to work with the school committee, staff, students, in the community in finishing up what has been really, I think, a productive school year. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching. And you can always keep abreast of what's happening in the schools by coming to school committee meetings, reading about what's happening at the AB schools online, and of course, if you're parents, hearing about what's going on at your child's schools through all of the different types of communication that occur. And I hope to do this again near the end of the year when we'll do an end of the year wrap-up. Thank you.
Learn how to keep your computer safe of viruses and scams with our new segment, A Tech Tip with Akaruz and Westerheim.
When it comes to cybersecurity, big companies make the headlines. Equifax, Sony, Target, TJX, all of these companies have been in the news. But did you know that half of all cyber threats affect small businesses? Too many small businesses think they're under the radar when it comes to cybersecurity, and only 14% rate their readiness to mitigate risks as highly effective. Phishing is the leading tactic leveraged by today's cyber criminals, typically delivered by email. In a phishing attack, the bad actors send a fake email, such as an account password reset request, in an attempt to get your password or to get you to click on a link that will install malware. A study by Verizon showed that 1 in 3 phishing emails gets opened. User education is key. All the technology in place, such as firewalls, antivirus protection, can't help when the user clicks on the link. So what can you do? Think before you click. If you get an email from your bank, credit card, cell phone provider, from the post office, asking you to log in and maybe reset your password, just slow down. Call the company or go directly to their website through your browser, not through the email. Think before you click.
And here's Pam Fletcher from Neshoba Valley Ski Area with the ski report.
Hi, I'm Pam Fletcher for Talk of the Town, and I'm with Joe Kruglak here, the director at Neshoba Valley Ski Area's Terrain Park. And Joe, this is a pretty extensive terrain park. I mean, you put a lot of hours and effort into this.
Yeah, between myself and the terrain park crew, I think we put about easily 150 plus hours in the last 2 weeks getting it all ready. The first day we got it open after one build, and pretty much every other night we've been adding features. So we're up to 18, hopefully 22 by the weekend. So we're just gonna keep building. If everyone likes it, we're just gonna keep doing it.
Now, a lot of people don't realize, but some of your build takes place in the summer. You actually come up with some of these creations over the summer months.
Yeah, so pretty much from, I don't know, mid-August, I get to start spitballing and brainstorming and hang out in the shop for about 2 months just building new rails, and there's no real rules, so if we think it's cool, we'll build it.
You know, and the other cool thing about this park is they change it up, and I think that that's what brings the kids back. I mean, when you're making it different all the time.
Yeah, so, you know, we have a very devout, like, local crew of kids that come in every day, and they expect a high caliber terrain park, and we try to provide that for them. But also when we talk to people that only visit every weekend, instead of coming back every week to the same thing, at least every 2 days something's different. So you're never here riding the same exact setup week after week if you're just a weekend warrior. So we try and switch it up and provide a little bit of a different flow, a different take on the parks almost every week. So yeah, it's a good time.
And now tell me a little bit about some of the events. I know you're doing a lot of events over the course of the season, and maybe you could explain the difference between some of the caliber of the events.
Pretty much this year we're sticking with just rail jams, just because we toned down the jump size just so it's more user friendly for a lot of the guys. So we're doing a 3-part free ride series that is going to be January 13th, February 4th, and March 3rd, all Saturday night events. So we'll have a rail jam, we'll have a brand new setup at the bottom, a hiking setup, and we'll have our sponsors Saga, Summit Ski Shop, O&3P Skis, Ski the East, and Smith Optics, all a part of us, and they'll be giving out prizes and helping us out.
So do we need to know, like, what caliber do you need to be to participate?
Anywhere from beginner to pro. You know, we try to provide everything for somebody. So if you want to be, if it's the first time you're ever hitting a rail, I wouldn't advise entering the contest, but if you're pretty comfortable, if you're, you know, beginner into intermediate, come on down and have fun. We don't discriminate.
And if you haven't learned any skills in the terrain park, you offer some wonderful programs, instructional programs, that you can learn these skills and how to maneuver over these hits. And like Joe said, we offer some hits that aren't that big, that aren't that intimidating.
Yeah, so we, third year going on now, it might actually be the 4th year, we're offering terrain park lessons. So from Thursday through Sunday, we're offering 3 and 6 week group lessons. So you'll get a personal, there'll never be more than 3 people in your group, and they'll all be age and skill level based. So you'll get to make some friends out of it, or if you're lucky enough and you're the only person that day, you'll get a private lesson with one of our park crew guys. So we'll pretty much go from the basics, show you where the terrain park is, teach you the, you know, the etiquette of coming through the park, just so everyone's riding safely and having a good time, and then we'll make a plan on growth, and we'll try and get you better by the end. After, from week 1 to week 6, there'll probably be an exponential growth in ski skills, ski or snowboard skills.
Well, and what's fun too is, as we mentioned earlier, because you change up the hits and you make it really accessible for all different levels of people, whether they're on skis or snowboard in the terrain park, it makes it kind of fun. And think about the proximity. I mean, we're only 20 miles, 25 miles outside of Boston.
Yeah, I think how close we are to the city, it's nice for the college kids. Like, a few guys on our team, they live in Alston, they go to college in the city and stuff, and they still make it out 3 days a week. You know, we're right off 495, so it's not hard to make it, and it's not the most expensive. So coming out here is definitely a good way to brush up on your skills if you are that weekend warrior and you live in the Boston area and you still want to ski during the week at night. It's definitely a good place to hone your skills. We have music playing over the park pretty much 7 days a week, and the lights are on till 10, so you couldn't ask for a better area. Small hill, big attitude, so it's a good time.
Well, thanks, Joe. You know, I'm a big fan of the terrain park myself, and it's wonderful to see what you've done here.
I appreciate it. We're gonna keep working on it.
If you have a story idea, maybe you want to be a correspondent, produce your very own TV show, please drop the staff a line at ActonTV.org. For all of us at Acton TV, we want to wish you a great week. I'm George Cox. We'll see you again next time. George for...
Take care. And I don't know what else to say after that.
Here is the interim superintendent, Bill McCalduff, with an update on the Acton...